chemical reaction involves the breaking and making of bonds between the atom to form new substance. So let us study about the types of bond formed between atoms. Hey my dear students, welcome to my class Study with Ease Along Me. Today in the class we are going to learn about types of chemical reaction. So there are 4 different types of chemical reaction which we are going to cover in our class. Number 1, combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction and double displacement reaction. Let's try to understand combination reaction. Take a small amount of calcium oxide, that also known as quicklime, in a beaker. Slowly add some water in the beaker. Now touch the beaker. Do you feel any changes in the temperature? Calcium oxide, which also known as quicklime, vigorously react with water and form calcium hydroxide, which also known as slack lime. This reaction releasing large amount of heat. That's the reason it's also known as exothermic reaction. So when two substances react and form single product, that's we called as combination reaction. Here we can say that calcium oxide reacting with water and form a single product, calcium hydroxide. So that we called combination reaction. And do you know student, calcium oxide CaO, calcium oxide quicklime is also used for manufacture of cement. The second reaction is decomposition reaction. This reaction is carried out by 3 methods. Number 1, heat, which also known as thermal decomposition reaction. Number 2, electricity, that also known as electrolytic decomposition reaction. And number 3, sunlight, that also known as photolytic decomposition reaction. So let's see the first method, that is the thermal decomposition reaction. Before moving to thermal decomposition reaction, let's try to understand what do you mean by decomposition reaction. Dear student, decomposition reaction is quite opposite to combination reaction. So decomposition reaction means single substance decompose to give 2 or more substance. That we call as decomposition reaction. Thermal decomposition reaction. This reaction is carried out by heat. When we heat calcium carbonate decompose into calcium oxide, that is the quicklime, and release carbon dioxide gas. Now let's move to the second example. When we heat lead nitrate, take some lead nitrate in the test tube and heat it, then you will observe a brown color fume. That brown fume is nitrogen dioxide. So when we heat lead nitrate, it decomposes into lead oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. So these are the example of thermal decomposition reaction, because in this decomposition reaction heat required to decompose them. And here, dear student, you need to understand that this symbol is of heat. Electrolytic decomposition reaction. This reaction carried out by electric current. In this reaction, water decomposed into H2 plus O2 due to electric current. So this reaction known as electrolytic decomposition reaction. Let's try to understand this reaction with an activity. Take a plastic mug, drill 2 holes at the bottom and insert a rubber stopper in this 2 hole. Now fix 2 carbon electrode in this stopper. Connect this electrode to 6-volt battery. Fill this plastic mug with water such that this 2 carbon electrode fully immersed in water. Now take 2 test tube filled with water and invert over this 2 carbon electrode. Add few drop of sulfuric acid H2SO4 in this water. Now leave this apparatus for some time without any disturbance. You will observe some bubbles at both electrode. Once the test tube are filled with respective gas, remove them carefully. Test the gas one by one by bringing a burning candle close to the mouth of the test tube. You will observe some poppy sounds when you bring burning candle near to the mouth of test tube. It indicates the presence of H2 hydrogen, and when you bring the candle near to the another test tube, you will observe the bright flame of candle. This indicates the presence of oxygen. So this kind of reaction known as electrolytic reaction, in which water decomposed into hydrogen and oxygen. Electrolytic decomposition reaction, it means this reaction is carried out by sunlight. Here the meaning of the photolytic means, photo means sunlight. In this reaction, white silver chloride, when exposed to sunlight, it turns into gray color. This happened due to decomposition of silver chloride into silver and chlorine. Let's see the reaction. Silver chloride AgCl, when this silver chloride exposed to sunlight, it decomposed, means it break down into silver Ag and Cl2, that is chlorine gas. So when it decomposed, so white color silver chloride convert into gray color. So this kind of reaction known as photolytic reaction, which decomposed due to sunlight. Why does an iron nail become brownish color and the blue copper sulfate solution fade? Let's try to understand the reason behind it. When iron nail is kept into copper sulfate solution, which is blue in color, you will find that this iron displaces the copper from this compound and it forms iron sulfate and the copper is separated. So this kind of reaction, we call it as a displacement reaction. Displacement reaction means when a highly reactive element like iron displaces the copper from the compound copper sulfate and it forms a new product, that is iron sulfate. So this kind of reaction we called as displacement reaction. Here you can see that zinc is an element. Zinc is highly reactive element and it displaces the copper from this compound copper sulfate and it forms zinc sulfate, right? So here we need to understand that iron, zinc, these all are highly reactive element compared to copper. When there is a highly reactive element, then only that particular element will able to displace the other element from the compound. Now look at here in this reaction, zinc is highly reactive metal and zinc displaces the hydrogen from the H2SO4 and it forms zinc sulfate. So this kind of reaction where one element replaces the other element from its compound and form a new substance, that kind of reaction we call it as a displacement reaction. Let's try to understand the fourth reaction, double displacement reaction. The reaction in which two different atoms or groups of atoms are mutually exchanged, that we called as double displacement reaction. Look at this compound. Sodium carry positive charge called cation, sulfate carry negative charge called anion, and here barium chloride barium carry positive charge called cation, and chlorine carried negative charge called anion. Now here what's happened, sodium Na2 displace the barium from this barium chloride, both will exchange their place, so this called double displacement reaction. NaCl2, 2 sodium chloride formed in product, and Ba barium SO4 sulfate, barium sulfate is formed. So this called double displacement reaction, where we saw that two different atom or group of atom mutually exchange their place, that called double displacement reaction. I hope you understood today's class type of chemical reaction, where we covered 4 different types of chemical reaction.